Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and I wanted to offer my thoughts on Alien Earth. We've gotten the finality and the entirety of the first season available to us now. I just finished watching the finale today. I have some thoughts on this as a longtime Alien fan, and I just wanted to share those kind of briefly here in the form of a somewhat, hopefully, succinct review. Basically, the long and short of this show reminds me of that horse drawing meme. You probably know the one I'm talking about, where it starts off with like exquisite detail and it's exactly what you hoped it would be, and then it sort of devolves into something kind of loosely organized and cartoonish and not all that great. So, what I would say is this, I think some of the themes that are in this show are really interesting. Like a lot of stuff with the synthetics and this idea of creating hybrids where you've got people's consciousnesses, plural, I guess, for multiple individuals who can then be put into synthetic bodies. Like that's a really cool concept that fits in the alien universe to me. But also the idea of having kind of the more traditional alien stuff, right? Like, face huggers, the eggs, the xenomorphs, a claustrophobic spaceship. Like elements of all of those things are there and they're all successful to varying degrees, sometimes not so successful. So just to kind of boil down what I liked and didn't like, I guess would be the best way to do this. So the things I liked, again, I like the synthetic piece of this. I think the actors and actresses that are included here are great. For the most part, I think they all do a pretty good job. I sometimes don't know how I feel about this whole putting children in an adult synthetic body and then those clearly adult actors acting like children. They mostly do a good job with that, and there is kind of this Peter Pan Lost Boys theme that keeps running through the show that again works at times. There are, I think, some clear punches at wealthy individuals that exist in the real world, like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, that kind of thing, with sort of the boy genius cavalier, whatever his name is, sort of thing. And he is a villain that you kind of love to hate, so to speak. I think they do a good job with sort of playing up that. And also, I like the lore that's built here. So, in the larger alien universe, what we mostly get is Weyland-Yutani is kind of the key thing, right? This may eventually give us an idea of why Weyland-Yutani sort of dominates everything. But you start to learn that there actually is not sort of a government in the traditional sense that we're used to, not a democracy or whatever it may be. It's these multiple companies, I think it's five of them, that sort of dominate the landscape and really facilitate everything. Prodigy is the company that's in charge of most of what we see in Alien Earth. This is kind of glimpsed to, I think, more deeply in Alien Romulus at the start, where the character we've got there, I think it's Rain, if I'm remembering her name correctly, is trying to get off of her planet that she's on, but they keep sort of really screwing her with the number of credits she has, the time that she owes to Weyland-Yutani and all that sort of stuff. But I like the world building and the lore. There are some good horror elements here too. There's one episode in particular that nails the alien aesthetic, and I think it was something like "In space, no one can hear you." ... There are ellipses. That episode is awesome. Like that's a really great episode. It's a really kind of nice, nicely crafted and nicely detailed love letter to the original film, Ridley Scott's movie. I think it does a great job. And there are some Aliens, James Cameron's movie, elements here in the form of pulse rifles, that kind of stuff. Um, I think where the show starts to falter is kind of in the back half. It doesn't seem like it 100% knows what it wants to do with this whole Lost Boys thing. It focuses more on the synthetics. There is a xenomorph, I guess multiple xenomorphs by the time we're done with this, running around this island where Prodigy operates. But my biggest issue with the show is that sometimes the special effects are amazing and sometimes they are not. Like, there was the episode, I think the penultimate, the one before the finale, where you see the xenomorph in broad daylight, and to me, it frequently looked bad. Like, it looked like a guy in a suit. It looked rubbery. It looked fake. It just was, to me, kind of a reminder of what I like in the original Alien movies, which is, and even Alien Romulus, having them glimpsed briefly in sort of dark, dank, dimly lit environments is maybe better. And I don't know. I mean, you could blend CG with, the more practical effects here, but there was just something about that episode where there's a xenomorph attacking these soldiers in a jungle island again in broad daylight, and it just did not look that good to me. It actually took me out of the whole experience and made me think, this reminds me that this is a show and not a fully developed cinematic experience like what we get with the films. And so that was not good. Some of the characters are kind of annoying as things progress, especially I think the kids that are in synthetic bodies. Just some of the things they do are like, okay, I mean, you can see how they're being manipulated, but some of it's just ridiculous. Where the finale ends to, I don't really love. I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world, but now we've got this whole story about synthetics kind of taking over, and now they're going to rule things, and the whole sort of dynamic where Wendy can communicate with the xenomorph and control it like a pet. There's sort of shades of Jurassic World and Blue the Velociraptor. I don't know. Started off great, in my opinion, and then slowly devolved into something that I just didn't really have a ton of interest in. Assuming there's a second season, I'll probably watch it. But I'm not like clamoring to see it, right? When it comes out, I'll watch it. But just because I love the Alien universe, the cinematic universe, and all of that, but I'm not like super thrilled about where it ended up. So that's my 2 cents. If you've seen Alien Earth, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.